Hi class, this is Garrett Knudson, and this is my Module 1 reflection video for the academic profession. So I'm kind of just going to answer all of the 4 questions based on my experiences and then moving into the readings for this module. So first, as I describe my experience working with faculty members and academic administrators, it's kind of my dual roles. First, I'm going to start discussing how I viewed professors and faculty as a student, and then also now dealing with them in my professional realm. So, first off, at Radford University, where I did my undergraduate degree, I had a great experience with my professors, mainly in my major. Um, I majored in exercise science, where a lot of what I was learning was what I was also doing in my classes or in my through my participation as a member of the track and field team. So through those dual experiences, I became close with a lot of the faculty members, meeting with them in their office hours, just talking about what we're learning in class and how I'm doing those various things as it relates to like the anatomy or exercise physiology that we're learning through practice and weightlifting and everything. So my experience in undergrad was great, mainly for my major related classes. I can't really think back to a time for all the gen ed classes I had to take that I had a great relationship with any of my professors. I kind of just, for lack of a better term, viewed those courses as I had to just get through those. But for the main part, my experience in my major coursework was great. I still have relationships with some of my professors to this day. As I move into my master's degree, I went to West Virginia University. This was a little different of an experience. My program was kind of a hybrid program. The majority of it was online. The only portion that I had on campus was during 2 weeks for 2 summers. But during that time, the professors I had were very welcoming, and we spent a lot of time. It was kind of a weird format as I was there for 2 weeks. So the first week was 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, one class. And then the second week was the same thing for another class. So we literally spent all day with my classmates and the professor. And we really got to know the professor and know why that they're doing what they're doing. And that relationship was really helpful. However, on the other hand, on the online side of things, there wasn't really much interaction with the professors. I didn't feel that I had any type of relationship with them other than just submitting assignments and seeing what feedback I had on on those assignments. But so that was kind of 50-50. It was a little different experience than I had at undergrad, but during the time where I was on campus, it was great. Now, currently, I think the instructors we have at UNCW, some of which I see in different ways than just as a student on my end, but I think most of them are very open to helping you figure out whatever issues you may have. I know I'm still going through the program, and I've known some of the professors prior to enrolling in this program, but for the most part, the UNCW higher ed professors are great. And now, kind of my experience as a professional at UNCW. So, a lot of what we do is we reach out to professors trying to get academic information for our student athletes on how they're actually doing in classes, just so we can kind of match up what the students are telling us with how everything's going. And a lot of the professors we deal with have a very open um, view of students, and they want to help the students learn, and they're here for the students, which may be a little different than what we hear from the students. So overall, my experience working with faculty has been great. Um, a little bit about what I think I know about faculty life. It seems to me that they have kind of a dual role, that they have this teaching aspect of it, but then they also have the research aspect of what they do. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but they may have a different perception from everyone that's looking at them. Students may think of them as like robots, and then they're just here to teach, and that's it. They're not real people or anything. We hear that a lot. And then they don't really work a normal 9 to 5 schedule. My knowledge of faculty is very limited, though, which moves into the gaps I feel like I have. I guess just some questions I have. as I move forward in this course is kind of like, what's the overall job? Like my job, I have my main goals, but like, what is the overall job of faculty? Does it depend on the subject, the college, etc.? And then like, how are they reviewed? Are they reviewed by what course they're teaching, the overall percentage of students that pass, the instructor evaluations, just like how are performance reviews given and what are they based off? And finally, or second to last, what are the professors' goals? Like, do all professors want to get tenure? Do they eventually want to be a dean? Do they just want to stay a professor the whole time? Like, does this, I know this probably depends person by person, but what's the trajectory other than tenure for most professors? And then finally, do all faculty enjoy teaching or is it mainly research? And then what differentiates the two between if you just purely want to teach or if you want to do more research, or is that kind of you would go into the pre higher educational realm if you're purely a teacher? And then my final slide, some of the points from the reading that stood out to me. And the main thing was the culture. I really like this quote from Edgar Sheen. A pattern of shared basic assumptions that the group has learned as it solves its problem of external adaptations and internal integration that has worked well enough to be considered valid and therefore to be taught to new members as the correct way to perceive, think, and feel in relation to those problems. I think this one really hit of what I think a culture is. I think it's someone that or something that everyone comes together and they have a shared beliefs to move forward with life. And then a few things that just stuck out about the readings were the different types of culture, and I keep thinking back about how these are at UNCW and kind of who's viewing these different things. I mean, culture means a different thing to everyone, and it's hard to get everyone from students, faculty, staff, the alumni all bought into this same culture. But these six types of culture that are discussed in the book are definitely working in the right way to make sure that culture is apparent in higher education. That's all I have for my Module 1 post. I look forward to seeing everyone else's. Thanks.